The next part of our session is the extension task. Now, parents, only push your children to do this bit if they are confident at writing simple words such as cat, bus, dog, bed, something simple like that. So, for example, if you said the word cat to them, they would think in their head, oh, it's got the phonemes at, and they would be able to write it. If they are at that level, then push them to do this next bit, which is to write a sentence. So children, if your brains are ready, switch your ears on. This is how we write a sentence. Now, parents, the best way to introduce a sentence is by doing it in 4 different steps, and I've always done this in my class, and once you keep repeating it, it will slowly feed into their brains and they will remember. So the first step is to think of your sentence. So today we will need to think of a sentence with this tricky word in it. What's that tricky word? Tell everybody. The. Now, to help you, I have thought of the sentence already. So, the next step you will need to do in a sentence is you will need to say the sentence. You must practice saying the sentence, children, because if you don't, you won't remember what to write. And then that's a bit of a problem, isn't it? So, say the sentence, which is today. The red bus. Can you remember that? Say it to the windows. The red bus. Say it to the ceiling. The red bus. Say it to the door. The red bus. Say it to the floor. The red bus. Can you say it to your adult without them helping? Off you go. There's 3 words. Fantastic. Okay, the next step you will need to do is write the sentence. That's what we need to do. So, hopefully it's in your brains now, children. Now you need to get your pens ready. So, here we go. There are some special rules when you write a sentence, children. There is a special rule at the start of a sentence, which is to use something called a capital letter, which is a big letter. So, our first word was the. So we will need a big T to start with. So the letters in there was, do you remember? T and then a H and then a E. But because we started with the capital T and then a H and then an E. There's our first word. What's the second one? Do you remember what it is? The red. That's right. Now, there's a second special rule that you must do in the sentence. In between each word, you must use something called a finger space. Because if you didn't use finger spaces in between the words, all the words will join together and then it will just be all mixed and muddled up and no one will be able to read your sentence. Do you want that to happen? No. So, you must use something called a finger space. Let's see the second word, red. What phonemes can you hear before you write anything? You must hear them. Red. So get that finger out and off you go. Then and then d. Then you take your finger off and then you can see your sentence. Help me read it to help us figure out the last word. The red, what's the next word? The red bus. That's the next word. Now, before you write it, figure out what phonemes are in it. Bus, 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 us, us, us. Lovely. So remember the rule, you must put a finger space before you write the next word to stop it getting muddled up. So finger space and then your next word. Then you take your finger off. Okay, now, one last step that you must do is check your sentence. So you must check it before you do one more thing. Check it. The red, bus. Does it sound like the sentence we started with? Yes, it does. There's one last rule that you must do when you finish a sentence. You must put something called a full stop, and it tells everybody the sentence has finished. So, the red bus, you don't do a big full stop like that. That's just because it's a poster. You do a small one, and then everybody will know your sentence is done and finished. And there you go. You have written your first sentence. If you have had a try at that, give yourself a thumbs up. Who's proud of you? I am. We have come a long way already, haven't we? Fantastic. Now, children, teachers, parents, it is the end of our first tricky word lesson. Did you have fun learning about tricky words? I'm sure you did. Let's say goodbye to my little friend who loves phonics so much. Here we go. Yes, he says he cannot wait to learn the next tricky word because there's loads to learn, isn't there? Good idea. Mr. Wizard has said, when you're reading your storybooks this week, children, if you come across the tricky word, remember what it is? Do you think they remember? I'm sure they are. If you come across this tricky word, what is it? Tell Mr. Wizard. If you come across it, don't forget to shout, stop, and try and read it on your own. Do you think you can do that? I think they can. Right, that's the end now. Shall we take our hats out, switch them off, and then put them in your pocket, ready for some more fun next week. Bye.